I'm pulling Kaguya's card. I'm sorry. I go through these phases. I pulled
Who's
Hagoromo's card. Kaguya.
What?
okay? Okay.
Kaguya, when she was fighting against Naruto, this is when she split up Naruto and Sasuke. You kind of brought up the point where if someone's doing a bunch of things to actually beat a character, it might mean that that character can't really beat the other character just straight up.
Hmm.
Kaguya wanted no parts of Naruto. Like Kaguya was doing everything in her power to not necessarily 1v1 a character like Naruto, even though it wasn't necessarily like a fully 1v1.
You know
She
why
was
though,
fighting
right?
it. Why?
Wasn't that because
Because
she didn't want to kill?
there's a narrative reason, right? She wanted to get their chakra back from them, but then after a while, she was like, you know what, just die. But like up in like for the most part of that fight, like Kaguya honestly could have beat them, bro. But like for the most part of that fight, she wasn't trying to kill them. That's the whole reason why they separated. Like she could have sent Sasuke to a dimension where he just like there's no oxygen or like theoretically, right? Like a dimension where he just goes like back to the lava dimension and just dies or something like that. Or have to summon his like eagle if it could still fly or whatever. You get my point though. That wasn't the goal though. The goal was to separate them so that they couldn't seal her and that she can one by one pick them off and regain her chakra. But after a while, she just wanted to kill them.
I see. Here's the thing. I'd understand that if we didn't necessarily get a full, like, I don't know, what was it, 150 episodes of just Akatsuki, like 1v1 in Jinchurikis and just taking them alive. We've seen characters like flat out beat other characters and make sure that they're not dead. Kaguya seemed like she could not do that against Naruto. So for her to be pulling out a bunch of stops and making it clear, like, yo, I always bring this up. Kaguya is like one of the slowest, like, GOAT tier characters that we've seen in a long time, but Naruto is literally speed blitzing Kaguya. I'm sorry. Like,
No, she's not.
it looked
She's not
bad.
really slow though, because if you go, so if you go back to like the lava dimension, six path Senjutsu, six path Sage Mode Naruto, he attacks her, and like keeps up with his speed and she even like bypasses it. There's this scene where like they both like have this like rapid. I don't know if it's like chakra punches or something. It's weird, but like they're punching each other, and like she overpowers them. That's a clear indication that she's just vastly stronger, and she just teleported to like a whole different world. So she's not as powerful as she was on Earth previously, right? And then from there they sneak her because she's not particularly bright. I think that's been alluded to in the actual battle that she had. Like Black
So
Zetsu's
much.
calling all the shots. So like they sneak her, and then in order to avoid herself being sealed, she teleports again, which drops her chakra reserves. And they go to the ice dimension, right? And she kind of teleports out of there, and then they're about to fight. Now Black Zetsu says, "Okay, we almost got sealed. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take Sasuke and like remove him. That way they can't seal us, right? With six path Shubaku Tensei." So she does that, and then she focuses in on Naruto. Now Naruto summons a bunch of clones, and then he hides his real body amongst the clones so that she can't get to the real Naruto. And the reason why he does this is because he can't scale to her power-wise. So he's trying to like buy time so he can figure out what the hell happened to Sasuke, where is he, so on and so forth. But Kakashi and them are like on it, but he doesn't know this at the time. But Kakashi and them are like working on Obito Sakura. And so then
Wait a
wait.
minute.
I'm almost at the critical part.
Go
So
ahead, go
then, in order for him to contend with her for the briefest of moments, he literally needs to use Kokuo's vapor style unrivaled strength to boost his attack, which scales him higher than he would have been normally, right? It's like a Kaioken burst of energy. And then he's able to like speed blitz her and knock her back from there. But outside of that boost of energy, right? And again, keep in mind two dimension shifts, which greatly lower her chakra reserves to where she was originally, and she's not trying to kill him. He speed blitz her, knocks her back, right? But the whole time he's like fighting her 1v1, he's trying to use like distraction tactics. Like he even takes his truth seeking orbs and puts them on a clone so that he won't be recognized, and she falls for that tactic. This is why I say like Cole takes a hostage. That's an indicator of something, right? Maybe he's not as strong as Naruto in this Master Toad Sage mode. Like Naruto needing to hide his real body amongst a bunch of clones. Maybe that says something to you. Like he can't win on his own, right? So there.
Here's the thing. You left out a bunch of convenient things for Kaguya. I think one of the first things we have to point out. You pointed this out. Naruto speed blitz Kaguya when he had the boost from I think the steam thing. Either steam, you know what I'm talking about. He had that boost. But there was a second time when Naruto literally forced Kaguya out of his own dimension. Like Kaguya was about to get blitzed by a bunch of clones, and she left because she understood that she was about to be in a bad position. Now, again, if we were supposed to believe that Kaguya Otsuki is this like omnipresence where she could absolutely demolish Naruto, why would she leave after feeling danger? I can't see Madara running from like a character like Kiba respectfully. I just cannot see that.
You have to like show me specifically what you're talking about so I can get some context.
I don't remember that, to be honest, but I know what chapters that are like the Kaguya fight. I'm gonna go look for that.
Yeah. I would need to see the panel. I can't like just go off of memory and then try to like refute what you're saying. 'Cause I honestly just don't remember. I wasn't trying to skip anything if it came off that way. I was just literally going off the top of, like how I remembered it happened. So.
No, I get it. A lot of people, even me, you know me, I be forgetting stuff sometimes. But I 100% remember Naruto kind of forcing Kaguya out of that dimension.
My whole thing is like Kaguya, she shows up and like literally like Naruto and Sasuke are like scared. Like they're like holy shit, like she's powerful, and then like she warps to the lava dimension, and then that nerfs her. She's weaker now because that takes an enormous amount of chakra. She's less than what she was on Earth, and then they clash, her and Naruto specifically, and then she like pushes Naruto, like she slams Naruto back, like she overpowers him. She outspeeds him because they're like throwing hands like super fast, and then she overpowers him. This is a speed and power feat, like definitively.
When was this? My bad. When was this?
This was when like I think they had just discovered that like Naruto could fly. And then like Naruto kind of flew up, like Sasuke, his bird got like Sinbun in the shoulder or like the wing, and they fell, and that. And then like he went up there and attacked her, and she's like, you think you're special because you possess a special accoutrement or some shit like that, which is basically clothing, garment, armaments, special armaments, six-pass senjutsu. That's what she was talking about, just for people in chat. Accoutrement. So they start throwing hands, and she like overpowers him, like definitively. That's right there. You get a gauge of how powerful, and the fact that like Sasuke and Naruto, Sasuke's like, I'm gonna be frank. If we die, if one of us dies, like it's over. Like without us both, like we can't beat her together. I mean, separate. And of course that ties into the seal itself because you need two to make it work. But it's also like together, like separate. Like that's the whole thematic thing as well. Like it's Indra, Ashura, Hagoromo, Hamura. They can't, like they're the embodiments of that. That's why she says my sons, right? And when she talks about Sasuke and Naruto, they cannot beat her separate. That's thematically that's been established in the clashes that they've had. That was established. There are scenes, if I'm sure there are, I just can't remember them, where like maybe they did a little this or a little that, but it's been thematically established. 1v1, they die.
Yeah,
and the fact that they needed to use misdirection to create an opening, like with the reverse harem jutsu, like again, they needed to use those.
I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I gotta disagree. From what I'm seeing here, it's a lot of them working together, not like them working. Like the most, whenever they overpower her, even to like a tiny extent, it's like with them fighting together. I'm trying to see. Maybe this. No, she's like casually destroying all of these shadow clones very easily. I see what you mean. Okay, so Naruto.
Can you link it?
I just found it too.
I found it too.
Episode 470.
I'm going to post them here. No, I'm at the manga. I'm at the manga. All right, so this. I'm gonna. I'm copying all
that. I just want to say like, Naruto shadow clones scale, like they each scale to like the original, like because we know this because he's fighting like the limbo clones, and like in lore those scale to the original, and he's able to like continue with them.
And then like he was able to stab a couple of
the statement. Jesus. So then Kaguya just like low diffs all those clones. Like there's a scene where she just like I think her hair stretches out or some weird stuff, but she just like pops all the clones like effortlessly. And they all scale to like the original Naruto, and we know that because the Limbo clone scaled to the original Madara, and he was fighting off against Madara. If they were less than Naruto, he would have got folded by those clones.
I disagree because there was a time, even during that fight, when Obito was essentially talking amongst a clone of Naruto, Sakura, and also Kakashi. Obito literally said the clone version of Naruto does not have enough chakra for him to actually find where Sasuke is in other dimensions. He literally chose Sakura over a clone of Naruto and specifically said a clone of Naruto isn't going to be enough chakra. He didn't say Naruto, period. So I think that right there could possibly be like some evidence that it's
if
not
like
necessarily the same.
all of like the clones were like the same as like Naruto, I think they are slightly weaker. It is chakra splitting apart, right? Like, how does Sakura have more chakra in her seal than Sage of Six past Naruto? Does that make any sense?
I mean, it doesn't.
But
It,
that's what
to,
Obito
to
It's a
me,
bit
to
wacky.
me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But like again, that's the writers contradicting themselves because we know definitively the limbo feat. I mean, the limbo lore, the limbo clones. So
Oh yeah, why would the Limbo clones hold back? I mean, they're trying. They're like, yeah, I
like
see
this
what
is
you
like
mean.
the pivotal moment to where Madara is about to use the infinite Tsukuyomi. Like
yo, that's
there's
even
no
That's
that's
escaping.
true. That's true. But
that's
like,
even
if those Naruto clones were able to like battle, the Limbo clones, right? And like, Madara is like they're supposed to be similar power level to Madara, right? The Limbo clones equal to him. And Madara was confident that he can take on Naruto and Sasuke at the same time, and yet Naruto was able to battle those Limbo clones pretty high
that's another
difficulty.
thing.
That's a bit weird.
I don't think that Madara was as confident. And this goes back to even what Mello was saying earlier. If Madara was that confident, he'd just pack Naruto and Sasuke up right then and there. He wouldn't necessarily have to use the clones as a diversion to actually get off this infinite Tsukuyomi.
Like, do
Because
you
even
see what I'm trying to say? Like, isn't that a bit weird? If the clones are
Yeah.
equal to Madara and Madara was confident that he can beat Naruto and Sasuke, how is Naruto keeping up with those Limbo clones with his Shadow clones? And was able to stab multiple of them with chakra rods to keep them still, to keep them from moving. That's weird.
This is why I believe that Madara was capping. Madara ain't truly believe that.
Like,
So you don't think he believed he could defeat them? You're just talking.
No, as you said, if Madara truly believed that, he'd have packed Naruto and Sasuke up right then and there. He wouldn't necessarily use the Limbo clones because even still, he got the Infinite Tsukuyomi off. But had he killed Naruto and Sasuke, I wouldn't necessarily say he'd have skated off scot-free because, of course, Black Zetsu was still in the wings. But, of course, it would have been a lot easier. Like, Naruto and Sasuke were still there. They were a nuisance to Madara. If Madara believed that he could have just packed them up, he'd have done so.
So for me, like, okay, so we know the Limbo clones lore, like they're as powerful as like Madara. So from there, like that, now we're working with facts. So then you would have to like prove to me, like in the pivotal moment of his plan that has spanned decades, as Madara is trying to activate Infinite Tsukuyomi, right? Meteors are falling from the sky. This dude is literally has meteors falling from the sky to dive exactly. So he's doing everything he can to prevent these dudes from stopping him. Like I don't understand like why those clones would be holding back versus like Naruto. Now you could say like what Baara said is that those like Madara wasn't as powerful as some people would scale him. Like he could just like wash them 1v1. Or like just take them out in general. Like 2v1 they still lose, 1v1 blah blah blah. For me, like I also have to take into consideration like that's not even a Madara who uses like the Rinne Sharingan because he didn't like tear the horn off until he got in the sky, and he was still heading. Like he casted that limbo technique before activating the Rinne Sharingan, which I would say definitely gave him an amp because the normal Rinnegan does that as well, and Sharingan too. So I would say like once he activates Rinne Sharingan, he becomes even more powerful. But you know, either way,
for sure.
Wouldn't he have had that chakra already in him? All he did is open his eye.
I mean, it kind of goes back to like Boruto era Sasuke, right? Like, does he always have the power of his Rinnegan at all times, or like, because like they do it like this deliberate thing. Like even when like Naruto, he says, "Let's teach him a lesson." Sasuke versus Momoshiki, and he turns up. They do this deliberate thing to where his hair like flips up, and you can see the eye now. That's to indicate the eye is in play, right? So
yeah, and they do the same thing with his MS. Like he activates his MS once like they're both charged, and he finally activates his MS and is like in his new Sharingan form. So yeah, I see what you mean. Because
like am I to believe that like on one hand Sasuke like Naruto is getting held up by his head, and like Sasuke comes up and then he gets like folded by Fuse Momoshiki, and they get drugged. Was that like full power Sasuke that got folded that time? Like I don't know.
Probably not, because he was in his base Sharingan. He normally starts his fights in base Sharingan. He did it against. He started his fight in base Sharingan against Naruto at the Final Valley. He did it against Kenshiki, and then he did it against Momoshiki, and then he did it against Fuse Momo. It's just something he does. He just starts in his base Sharingan.
Right. So we have like a body of work. We have this like consistency to make these claims. So like and we know the Rinnegan offers an amp because Obito said as much. So I think it's more, and we know this, the Sharingan does as well. It's the eye that reflects the heart. It gives you amps, right? So for me, like if he activates the Rinnegan Sharingan based off of everything we just said, he should definitely get an amp. That version of Madara should be more powerful than the one that casted the Limbo clones before he flew up there.
Yeah. But like he also did like use his infinite Tsukiyomi, and I feel like that'd be a pretty huge chakra cost, probably, wouldn't it be? Like you're casting again jutsu across the entire world, and like even as Tomo kind of like
the thing about
they shrink from 9 to 6, and it's in the manga as well. Like they shrink from 9 to 6, so you'd probably
like what happened to those Limbo clones that were fighting? Like I think like you could make an inference here, and this
Naruto
is like,
subdued them with the chakra rods to stop them from moving.
He's more powerful than. Wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm going off of memory.
You want me to go back and find it? See,
I ain't trying to work you.
I think you're talking about the original.
I have
the Madara had
I have the manga open right here.
Okay, well, yeah, show it to me if you can.
Yeah.
Naruto subdued the Limbo when Madara had one Rinnegan. I don't know about when he had both.
Isn't it weird that he can just like pin them with chakra rods? I don't know, I find that weird. But when they have like regen and stuff.
6 passing jutsu, that's the answer to everything, bro.
But they have like Senji, like he has like they have like regeneration. Why did the chakra rods affect them so much? It's weird.
Chakra rods are like broken, bro. I don't know. Sometimes they take chakra, they paralyze you. Sometimes they just disrupt your chakra system, right? Chakra rods are broken.
Whatever the writers want them to do, they do. It's like what was I looking at this manga panel for? Like Naruto has the whole bunch of clones. What was the point of this again? He's attacking her from multiple angles.
He kind of forced Kage to leave.
I think that she wanted to put him in like she thought that was the real Naruto. She was trying to lead him outside of the dimension to try and take Naruto out. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening there.
No, that was.
But I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I don't think that's what was happening. I think hold on, she says, and then hold on, I'm trying to read the thing. Looks like your doppelganger just had gangers didn't have enough chakra, so you're the normal one. But the other two must have run out of strength and vanished. It seems a number of managed to enter. So what? Oh, that's when they thought that Obito and Sakura were clones, and they just poofed away. But they were just trying to deceive her or him, because she wasn't really using her brain. Black Zetsu was. Mother has come into the real time and space. It's not good that you're here in this place and connects directly to the other time spaces. It might be able to get where Sasuke is using the Renaissance, blah blah blah. I'm trying to get to the point where like she's like done playing around. She just wants to wash this dude.
I do want to point out there was the time when she got hit with a bunch of Rasen Shurikens. Now famously people like to point out that she didn't necessarily take that much injuries, but her whole system starts to like malfunction. Tail B started to come out of her. I don't know. One of them had a Rinnegan Sharingan, so a whole 10 tails plus the other tail B started. I don't know. I don't know. When she started to really get serious, I think the best thing that she did, she tried to nuke the whole field with a a truth seeking orb. That's like the best thing. And also the gravity thing. I think the gravity thing she definitely turned up there.
That was her dimension that did that, because she was affected by that too. But so are you saying like Naruto can 1v1 and defeat Kaguya? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think. All right, this right here is. I want to make a video essentially saying that Kaguya isn't as strong as we think she is. I don't think that version of Naruto would be able to 1v1 Kaguya. But I think the fact that he forced her out of that dimension is definitely a point that we should take that we should
Okay.
take, because again, Kaguya's goal essentially wasn't necessarily kill Naruto. I think if that was her overall goal, 1v1, she would probably been able to do so. But we did see other characters successfully obtain other Jinchurikis alive, and we understand it wasn't necessarily like any mid difficulty. It was high difficulty. Data versus Gaara, high difficulty. You see what I'm saying? Killer Bee versus, even though Killer Bee wasn't necessarily taken, high difficult, but we seen Jinchurikis be taken alive and wasn't necessarily as difficult as like Kaguya versus a Naruto. And what we think is that the gap between Kaguya and Naruto should be a lot wider than the gap between, let's say, Data and Gaara.
So you think without the seals, Sasuke and Naruto would like beat her?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think so. No, well,
Okay.
here's the thing: Naruto, the way that the Naruto writers have it, and this is all just depending on the characters. They say that she's what is it, invincible. I don't know that to be fact. I mean, here's the thing: she's part of the God Tree, so it wasn't necessarily fully Kaguya. Even the Kaguya that I'm talking about isn't necessarily as strong. She was funneling a bunch of chakra from everybody that was cooped up in the God Tree back on Earth, and we understand that dimension had 16 space curvatures, a bunch of chakra everywhere. So even that Kaguya was like kind of inflated. I don't know.
Well, I think that was because of Naruto, really.
Yeah, true. Naruto, the Jinchurikis.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you think Naruto and Sasuke from Shippuden can like 2v1 Kaguya without the Sun and Moon seal, that's what you believe, man.
I mean, if Kaguya is gonna be invincible, though, I don't even really think like
maybe it was just a
I think
hyped up statement for the time.
No, I think so. I think me and Kidomaki had that discussion about Madara when Madara said that he was invincible. I don't know if Madara died. Like, how could you be invincible if you died?
That's not the right context, though, because he only died, like, that version of the character didn't die. He only died after he was sped out by Kaguya, which he was losing control.
Again, you're conditionally invincible, which like goes against the whole entire definition. Like, exactly. Hidan, he was invincible.
But he lost what made him invincible.
Hidan, I don't think he did. He was just buried alive.
What?
Hidan might still be chomping around underground
that's right now. That's for you and Kidomaki, bro. I mean, I'm talking about Madara. Like, Madara lost what made him invincible. Like, the thing that made him say that statement was the power he gained, and then he didn't have that power because he was sped out by Kaguya, and visually he didn't even look the same, which is an indicator that he didn't have that power, which is why like him not being invincible, him dying, is applicable.
And they say that Hidan had died from malnutrition. He needed to eat still.
Holy.
That's what they said.
I didn't see that, but if that's the case, R.I.P.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to conflate that before.
Right
I don't want to conflate like the point. Like, yeah, the Hidan thing is interesting. But I just. So what do you think about what I just said about like Madara? In fact, that's a you and Kidomaki thing. I'm gonna let y'all.
We're going to change the subject, but I just will give out the two cents. I think that if you're invincible, you're invincible. There is no I'm invincible if this happens, or I'm invincible unless this happens. If I'm invincible, I'm invincible. I can't die. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, but we could change the subject.
Wait, real quick though, because you said a thing. So if you had like, I don't know, a rock. The rock of invincibility, and you hold it in your hand, and while you hold that rock, you are invincible. You say, "I am immortal. I am invincible." But then, like, you lose the rock.
But I would never say that.
Immortal and invincible?
No, I would never say that. That's like essentially like Sasuke getting an arm full of like Sharingan, having like, I don't know, a dozen Izanagi. I forgot. I think it's Izanagi, but he has like a dozen of them. He's saying, "I'm invincible." No, you got like 12 lives, but you're not fully invincible.
But that's not the same thing though. Like what I'm saying is, like, you're this character and you're super arrogant and cocky, and like that's within your established characterizing that you would say that. Like, it doesn't have to be you and what you would say, but this is the character and this is what the character would say. And they hold the rock of invincibility, and while holding the rock, they make that statement, that declaration. But then they later don't have the rock, and then they go on to die. You get what I'm saying?
Then that said character was incorrect. We've seen multiple characters be incorrect before. If a character dies after he says that he's invincible, I think the logical thing to think, he was never invincible. He died.
But he was invincible while he had the ability that gave him that made him invincible.
No, he couldn't die while he had that. Hypothetically, if Itachi is holding the Yamamere, he can't claim he's invincible because he has the Yamamere and no one can touch him. No, he has the Yamamere. That's it.
What? Oh, okay.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Shout out to Chrome for the $5 donation. You said, what Black Zetsu?
Not gonna lie.
What's Black Zetsu made of? The chakra rod material?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
He's made of poop. Okay, she
farted
him out at the last second.
The crazy. He said he was born, like he was birthed by Kage, calling Kage his mother. So I have no
mother. It's like what?
Yeah. Hey man, he worked real hard to get her back, bro. I ain't going there. Anyways, like I don't know, bro. I don't know what he.
I can't be that dedicated, bro. 1,000 years being that dedicated, I don't know.
Well, look, all I know is that like she was sealed away into the moon, and Hamura went straight to the moon, and next thing you know, there's a whole Otsutsuki lineage up there. Take from that what you will. Bro. I'm going to go up there and be.
Repeat that, because I think I remember. Say that again, because I think I remember this. Man.
So, like I said, she was defeated and sealed and turned into like the moon, the Chubaku Tensei, and then Hamura immediately after the fight went up to the moon, and then next thing you know, there's a whole race of Otsutsuki up there, a whole different branch. He's the only dude up there. It's just him and Kaguya.
All right, so I would like to make like a slight correction. All right, so went back to the manga. So it was one Rinnegan, Mangekyo Sharingan, Madara that Naruto stabbed with the chakra rod to stop them from moving. It wasn't too wide. Correction has been made.
Yeah.
Cool.
I still find it weird that they can be pinned by chakra rods, but either way.
No. Here's the thing. I think Naruto was able to seal that clone for multiple reasons. I think the first reason is because he actually materialized himself to be the replacement for Madara. I think once a limbo clone materializes itself, it's like it's materialized. Well, until the contact is done. Like because contact was never like not finished. Like he was always like being sealed and stuff with the Rasengan, with the Chidori. Also, the second thing, Naruto used the sealing Rasengan, from the One Tail. So I don't know if that clone could have moved anywhere. So after that, I think that clone was donezo.
I wonder if Kaguya transferred some of her like brain or intelligence to Black Zetsu, because she was unusually stupid in her fight, and like Black Zetsu is literally calling all the shots, bro. It's like did she split her intelligence or give him the bulk of it or something?
I think since he's been alive for like, actually,
because like however smart he is, she should be.
No, because like he's experienced he has experienced a lot of life, and he has experienced these
like a millennia old Otsutsuki.
Yeah, true. But like how much knowledge that is weird. You're right. I'm trying to parse it out. That's weird. She's unusually stupid for that. But like I will say, like I'd say she's more like average human intelligence. I don't think that she's stupid.
Knowing the humans I know, that is not a feat or an accomplishment or something to be proud of. So